What's up, Rube? It's Little Big Robots back with a stack of 30 minutes missions kits to give you, I don't want to say a thorough review, but, you know, a bit of a review on. So let's see what we got today. In case you don't know, 30 minutes missions is a line from Bandai. It's not Gunpla, it's not Gundam Plastic, so it's not based in the Gundam universe. It's just this wonderful line, I believe based in its own universe, about 3 different factions, blah, 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 blah. 30 minutes refers to the 30 minutes it should take you on average to build each one of these kits, and I can vouch that it's about how long each one takes, especially as you get used to the kind of standard layout they have. 30 mm, as in millimeter, I believe refers to the, you'll see these little dots and these little holes all over these guys. That's intentional. That's so that it's a standard 30 millimeter peg, I believe. So it can take all sorts of crazy custom stuff. You can do all this nutty stuff with these guys. Let me see if there's a good pic. There'll be a picture of them in here. And again, I can vouch for that. I have a huge box of 30 minutes missions parts, and it's just a blast to sit down, you know, see you're watching TV or something and just hanging out, you know, on a weekend, and you sit down and just play around with all the parts. So typically when you're done, you're going to have about that much left, maybe a couple pairs of hands, maybe these little thingies, maybe one of those or 2 of those. What's really fun about this is you get a lot of lore. As you notice with Bandai kits, they're going to give you English as well. So there's 3 different factions. They each have kind of a style. But what's really cool about these, what I really enjoy, is they don't insult your intelligence as somebody who's built a million of these kits. Here we go. I was looking right at it. You have this opening page that basically says, hey, you got some experience building kits, just follow this. And it's literally that simple. A humanoid robot is symmetrical, so you just basically build 2 of everything. It's very easy, so that represents 2 of that, the chest. They indicate to you which part goes to which part. Very simple. Now, you're not going to be able to do that necessarily with a more complicated model, so that is a bit of a caveat, you know. But these are meant to be simple, go together, and be done. This is the Knight type. The Knight type is based or is built on top of what they call the Spinia. Probably my favorite Spinia Knight type. So Spinia is from this Maxion forces. They're more thin and lightweight. Kind of consider them the elves of the world, I guess. And the Spinia is this really thin version model that they have in there, and then they just kind of tack on different armors and stuff to kind of make them look different. So once you get it one Spinia, they're going to go along with all of them. So you can pull off an arm on one and throw it on another. You pretty much do that with almost all the kits as well. I'm not typically a fan of the crazy armors and stuff. I don't like that. The reason I like the Spinias, and they're probably my favorite of the 30 minutes missions line, is because they're so humanoid. They actually remind me a lot of those the little figures you might get for help with drawing. You know, you'll see them in a drawing class. They're like little wooden figures that look like humans, but they're very simple. They're just like wooden metal pose, figurines. They remind me of that. So they're really great just to kind of illustrate how model engineers and stuff these days will engineer a kit to look humanoid and actually pull it off really, really well. It's just so common now. We really, really take it for granted how common it is. But this is the Knight type. As you can see, he just has armor tacked on. So what you would do is you would normally have the base head, maybe a little flare or something different on it, and then you have armor they stack on top of it, and there's the head underneath. And I absolutely love this head. If you see under here, see the eyes? It looks like little camera eyes. That bare head alone is my favorite. I'd rather have an army of Spinias just without armor on. And Knight stuff is kind of, I know this sounds funny coming from an old dude who collects toys and makes YouTube videos about toys, but Knights and ninjas and stuff like that's kind of kiddie to me, you know what I'm saying, a little bit. So while that's cool, don't get me wrong, see, even without that on there, it looks better, I think, without this big piece. Let's kick that off there. I don't want them to feel too kid-like. I want them to be kind of, look like maybe a thin, combat robot. They just drop into combat in a ball and it unfolds like a Star Wars droid and goes from there. But again, you can see all the 30 minutes or 30 millimeter holes you can put everywhere, so you can just pop stuff in and out. The shoulders are always classic on these guys. Basically, you take this off and you see that gap there. You replace that little part there with another part they provide you in the box, and it closes that gap, so you don't have to. That's just only if you really want the shoulder armor on there, so you can take that off. Very simple builds, great for kids, great for first timers. Of course, be careful if you have a young kid, because a lot of these parts are small and they can swallow them and stuff like that. So that's a great. Spinaciers are my favorite. It comes with this cool sword that even if you don't use it with a kit, look at that. You could put that with an action figure or something. It's really, really cool. And a shield, again, kind of dorky for my taste. But again, nice to have those options. Then we get into, excuse me, I'm going to do these two last because I'm going to do this guy first. This is a Gard Nova. Gard Nova. I don't know what these names mean. To me, it sounds Italian or something. Somebody let me know. This is an unusual one. I don't know what the design here is supposed to be, but it's got these long, freaky arms. And I think in a way, it reminds me of like an ape, like a baboon or something. I don't know if you know anything about baboons, but they can be very, very scary. If you ever look up a mandrill, for example, with the rainbow on kind of like the big red face on the nose and stuff, very scary critters, man. They can really tear you up. But this has these unusual long arms and the hands and stuff. Now you can replace them, and of course they all have guns. I don't care about the guns, so I never really show those. You should be able to replace those with hands. Let me look in the instruction book here. Again, you can see you can create it all in one place. Let me see, it gives you a. I think you can switch it out with hands. I'm not sure, but you can shorten it, which is kind of cool. So let's say if you don't like this super long arm, which is kind of fun though. I like it as like a construction tool. You can pull that off. Whoa! You can pull it off. You can take these apart here. How do you do this? You take these off here, I think. Let's see. Like that. Take the hand off the front of this one. Reattach the hand there. And then you have kind of a more standard sized arm. Put the shoulder back on. Again, this same kind of attachment for the shoulder. It's a little wider, but if you want to decrease that, you can. Because the shoulders a lot of times for me are a little bit too large. And then you've got this cool kind of shorter. So it's interesting. It's really, you could do this kind of like, I don't know what this is really for. It's really just a strange, one of the more strange kits. And not only that, but his legs are a little shorter. His head does not move, by the way, but you can pull this off. This is interesting. You can pull this off. Where was it? Here. And you have that gap, and I believe you could just fill that in and put a standard head on. I think they have a fill in there for it. Let me see. Right here. So I think that part right there could go right there, and then you could pop the head on there. So that's the point of this line, is there's just a billion options. I absolutely love it. You see, again, all the 30 millimeter holes. Some of them seem larger than others. I don't know if that's the case or not, but not every kit does go with every kit. But typically, you should be able to pull that guy off. And you can do this with normal Gundam, but these are supposed to be a bit more standardized. Pull that arm off and put it on him, for example, and now you've got that. So you can also take these weird arms, put them on a backpack like this. That's what they're designing them for. So really, really just more options for fun. If you get a bunch of these 30 minutes kits, and I've got almost the entire line. I don't buy their recolors necessarily, but I get almost all of them, except for the new ones. Other than these, you really the possibilities are endless. I've seen people build insane stuff. So this is the Nova tank version. Again, I don't know what these names mean. This one's unusual. I didn't mess with it much yet. I just built it straight real quick. When I've got a backlog as large as I do, I've got to just build it and go. I built it, got it out the door, and just said I'll look at it later. So this guy basically turns into some kind of tank mode. This is ridiculous, so this has got to go. You can take it off really easy. It's just a backpack, but it is a fun little option. It comes with this giant bazooka, which is really a kind of nice bazooka if you're into that. Everything should have there we go. Everything should come apart really easy if you want to customize stuff. That's how these kits work. But let's see, because he's got this really fun head, R2-D2 style head. I love that. It's kind of scope doggy. In fact, it's very scope doggy with that little part on the front there. Standard legs, interesting feet where you can attach stuff to it. And then let's see how you quote unquote transform it. This is going to take a minute. I think what you're gonna, I might just show you and then let you see it. I don't know. Oh man, I hate transforming stuff. I really, by the way, always put your time and date on stuff in the basic location. When you're 80 years old, trust me, you'll be like, oh, cool. So you're basically supposed to pop his, okay, so we're gonna try to do the legs like that. Man, I don't have the energy for this kind of thing, man. I'm so lazy. Let's pull these things off real quick. Okay, so you pull them off here, like this. Okay, so let's do that. I'm so lazy about. I hate transformations. I like transformers, okay, but once I transform, I usually leave them. And then this goes down. I'm trying to follow the little thing here. Okay, these go up and then lock. Oh, okay, so maybe like this. Man, do I have to? Will you guys forgive me if I don't want to transform this thing? I don't. Does it lock underneath? What does it mean lock? I don't see the little bit he's talking about. You see this little bit here? What is it talking about? Lock. Okay, so if this is it underneath here, and the legs are like, I'm looking at this now, the legs go under there like that. Oh, maybe, you know what? Let's just pause, and I'll see if I'm going to come back to this. Hang on a second. All right, something like this, whatever. It's a tank. It's fine. See, that's not important. Let's talk about what's important. I hate transformations in mecha, like in this. It never works with Gunpla, and it never. It's like it's not a transformation if it just kind of folds up. It's just kind of dumb. Just make it. Don't get me started. But these parts alone you're going to get are great. You can use them to make like a tank type person. I put one of these guys. You can just basically take their feet like this. At least I think this kind will do it. They should be pretty universally accepted or workable. Anyway, you can basically adjust the feet. You can add a little part to the feet and pop it on that. He might just stand. Look at that. He's just going to stand on like a skate. Screw it. Let's do the other one. There you go. Not perfect, but again, it's probably not meant to do this. But there you go. So now he's rollerblading. He looks like the Atlas Gundam. There you go. So strange, but it works. Really, it's just a fun, goofy line, but transformation sucks. So that's the tank version. This is the bike version. Again, I'm not going to transform this thing. I don't have the freaking energy for this stuff. Where this one's cool is you're supposed to kind of flare out his bikes a little bit, his little bike parts here a little bit, which is absolutely cool to me. Pop these guys, his arms in there, and again he has this funny little R2D2 style head. I just love that. Legs are a little short, but I like that. I like the kind of stockier, lower center of gravity type thing. These bike things are a bit goofy, but as you can see, if you stretch them out and stuff like that, they start to look like a cool, not bikes, but like just a cool backpack. He comes with again a bazooka that I'll never ever use. Fun little build. These are all fun builds. They do get a little bit repetitive if you do them all like a bunch in a row. You start to really recognize their similarities. Even though like these two guys look completely different, there's so many similarities here. The feet, how he built them, how everything goes together. It's really a basic build every time. But that's the point. Is these are supposed to be quick, cheap, and get you into customization. Oh, he stands up well with that on there. Look at that. Well, I'm going to start I like him. The tank one can screw off, but I mean, it's just meant to be really fun. A great Saturday night activity, fun for customizations. You can use them on Gunpla and other kits as well, and action figures and stuff. But go pick you up some 30 minutes missions if you haven't yet. So have a good day, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.